To go, presented by Geico, a wild week 17 in more ways than one. And what can one play mean? Well, the implications right there, James Conner plunging in Philadelphia, meant a whole lot of everything. Arizona takes the lead. The lead would hold 35-31. The Cardinals upset the Eagles, but not everybody upset right now. Here's what this means. We now know that San Francisco, with their win, locks up the 1 seed and the bye in the NFC. Dallas moves into the divisional lead in the NFC East. The Eagles down to the 5 seed, and in that wild card picture, also the charter franchise, the Chicago Bears, who are on the clock as they solidify the top overall pick by way of Carolina. Joe Musso, Bryant McFadden reporting eligible for Week 17.
Present.
Maybe a bit too soon. None too soon was this result for many across the league by the Arizona Cardinals. They come from behind. Kyler leads the way, possibly answers the quarterback question there as well. We're looking at so much right now, B-Mac, but as you look at this Eagles team and their inability to get this one to the clubhouse, what do you make of it at this moment of the season?
You need to be concerned. It's almost time to hit the panic button if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan because of how well they performed a year ago, retaining most of the personnel from last year, a team. Of course, you lost both coordinators, and you faced off against your former coordinator in today's matchup against the Arizona Cardinals, and he had a phenomenal game plan. But the most alarming thing about the Eagles of what I'm witnessing, what I watched today and going back to the last few weeks, the defense. The defense on all 3 levels, they're playing poor defense. They're not tackling well. They're not sacking the quarterback. They're not creating turnovers. And they become more of the Achilles heel for their team than any other area for the Eagles ball club. For them to go into this game knowing what was at stake, playing against a team that clearly has been spiraling in the wrong direction, more bad than good, for them to come into your house to score 35 points, to have a game-winning touchdown with little under a minute left to go is unacceptable. Unacceptable for a ball club that had championship aspirations coming into the season, and unacceptable for a ball club that was trying to correct their wrongs. When you look at some of the things that haven't gone their way over the last few weeks, it's almost time to hit the panic button. Luckily enough for them, they will get into the playoffs, but the likelihood of them having the number 1 seed, number 1 spot in the division is not likely based on what happened today.
Yeah, both of those gone. Number 1 seed belongs, signed, sealed, delivered to San Francisco, and now they need a loss from Dallas in Week 18 in order for them to be able to win against New York and claim that division. We have not seen back-to-back division champs in that division for a very long time, since the 01 through 04 Eagles, and it looks like with these matchups we're looking at in Week 18, Dallas making a trip to Washington, Philadelphia taking on the Giants, that again we will have a different division champ, and that's all informed by the game that we saw a night ago on Saturday and the call that we may have decided that game. Mac, there's so much to still be decided. But as you assess the Eagles, I mean, you pointed to it right there. Secondary and defense is the weakness to this team. How can something that was a strength so soon before become such a liability this season?
Well, one would think health, getting healthy, but remember also when they were healthy, when they had a full bill of health, it wasn't like they were dominant. So I think it's more about the personnel, and also too, when you talk about the defensive scheme compared to what we saw last year, from what we're watching currently, is not the same. Remember, they made a change in play caller. Matt Patricia became the guy that was calling plays to kind of try to switch up some things, change some things up, but we haven't seen the dominant performances, and I think it starts with the guys on the front. They have to find a way to be a dominant unit. Remember, they were the catalyst for their success last year when you talk about not just sacking quarterbacks. Granted, they led the league in sacks, but their ability to collapse the pocket and make everyone else play less difficult when you factor in putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They haven't been able to do that. If you watched Kyler Murray today, yeah, he was scrambling a little bit, but he was so comfortable for the majority of that ball game, especially the last game-winning drive with that James Conner touchdown. Kyler Murray was just dicing it up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. So hopefully they can find a way to get healthier and just devote their time and attention and doing what they did last year, which was so dominant, which was rushing the passer, putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
You want to talk about dominance? We saw plenty of dominance in a big-time matchup in the AFC. We'll take you there, a matchup between Baltimore and Miami as that one hurtles towards a conclusion. It ain't over, but it's already over. We'll have highlights from there. We'll have reaction from everywhere, but an upset as the Cardinals, as 12-point dogs, win outright here against the Eagles, who now no longer control their own destiny. If the Cowboys get it done in Week 18, the hats and T-shirts belong to them. That means a 5 seed at